Sex in the City, Chapter 6. It was the morning after the night before and Charles and Alice were both strangely quiet about the party they had attended. Both of them wanted to discuss it, but neither wanted to be the first to bring it up. Eventually, Charles felt that they couldn't avoid it any longer, and having made them both a coffee, he tentatively broached the subject. "Alice, what did you think about last night?" "I enjoyed it," he asked as he handed over the cup. Alice took a sip and thought carefully about her reply. She had enjoyed it and was still getting a tingle in her body every time she thought about her and Charles fucking in front of other couples. "It was different," she said a bit guardedly. "What does that mean?" "Surely you either enjoyed it or you didn't," said Charles, frowning. "Of course I enjoyed it," Alice replied with a smirk on her face. "Did you think I was going to say I hated it and never wanted to do it again?" "Well, you had me going for a minute, yes," said Charles. He tried not to show it, but he had definitely been worried that Alice had not enjoyed it and that the sexual adventure was going to be over before it had really begun. "What was your favorite part of the evening then?" asked Alice. Charles thought for a moment. "I enjoyed the whole evening. It is hard to pick out one part of it, but I think the whole. Charles paused as he tried to think of the right word. "Adrenaline rush. Yes, that's the word, as we got started probably takes it." Charles turned the question back on Alice. "And your favorite bit?" Alice nodded in agreement with Charles' choice. "I was so nervous at the start, but I think looking up when you were taking me from behind and seeing the other couples all fucking will be an image to treasure." There was another pause as both of them conjured up the images from the night before. "Are we going to continue with the parties?" asked Charles. "Well, we both have to agree," said Alice. "That was the deal. What is the next one going to be?" "I am not sure I want to agree until I know what it is on the cards." "I don't know. Guess we will have to wait until Catherine and Robert send out the next invite." "There might not be another party," said Charles. "Would it be a bad thing if we stopped now?" asked Alice, a quizzical look on her face. "Am I not enough for you?" "You are more than enough for me. If you want to stop, say so and we will," replied Charles. Alice paused for a minute before replying. "No, not yet. Besides, I think Lucy has set her eyes on you and I don't want her hunting you down whilst I am not around. I think she was hoping for a bit of fun in the shower last night." "I can handle Lucy. Besides, nothing was going to happen in the shower last night. We men need time to recover, you know," laughed Charles. "Besides, I think she might have been more interested in you. You both looked like you enjoyed washing each other down." "It's the handling of Lucy that has me worried," grinned Alice. "And yes, I did enjoy showering with Lucy. She has a lovely firm body and her skin is so soft. It is a different feel to a man's." "Wow, who would have thought? My Alice has bi tendencies." "Perhaps," replied Alice coyly. "What about you? Do you fancy Michael?" "No," said Charles quickly. "It's okay, you know, this is the 21st century," said Alice. She loved winding Charles up. "Not going to happen 21st century or not. Michael is a great guy and all that, but I don't fancy blokes." Charles knew that Alice was winding him up and decided to have some fun of his own at her expense. "Now I would love to get my hands on Lucy. She has a lovely arse and her tits are perfect." Alice scowled at him. "Carry on talking like that and there will definitely be no more parties." Okay, but seriously, if we carry on going to these parties, that is where this all seems to be heading." Alice nodded. "Let's just take it slowly and see how things develop, shall we?" A similar conversation was also being held that same morning between Michael and Lucy. Michael and Lucy talked about it in bed. Both agreed that it had been a blast and that they definitely wanted to attend future parties. "What do you want to do at the next party then?" asked Michael, propping himself up on his elbows to look into Lucy's eyes. "Charles," was Lucy's quick reply. "What?" asked Michael. "Charles, you asked me what I wanted to do at the next party." "I want to do Charles. I want to slowly strip his clothes off, revealing his chest, then I will rub my hands over his torso going lower and lower. Then I will unbuckle his belt and open his trousers. I will slowly slide down his body, taking his trousers and underwear with me so that his cock, his long, firm, hard cock springs up in front of me. I will then kiss it, lick around the head before opening my mouth and taking him deep into my warm, wet mouth." Lucy stopped and looked at Michael. She then looked down under the cover. "Well, somebody is getting turned on by my fantasy. Want to hear more?" Michael nodded. Lucy threw back the covers and slid down the bed. "Well, where was I? Oh yes, I would kiss it, and then lick it first." She moved forward and planted a kiss on the head of Michael cock. She then kissed the head of his cock and licked around it. Michael's cock grew even harder as she proceeded to lick it, and he moaned slightly. I would then open my mouth and engulf it, taking it deep to the back of my throat. Looking up at Michael, she opened her red lips and slowly lowered her mouth over the head and down the shaft. With her mouth full, she could no longer keep up a running commentary, but Michael did not care. Lucy moved up and down the shaft, occasionally taking her mouth fully off his cock to lick around the head and down the shaft. She placed her hand on the shaft and slowly moved her hand up and down in time with her mouth. She could feel Michael getting harder and harder in her mouth, and his breathing became shallower and faster as he neared climax. Lucy suddenly stopped and removed her mouth. "When Charles is about to come, I will stop teasing and frustrating him. I would then push him onto his back and straddle him." She knelt, and then, exactly as she had described, she straddled Michael, taking hold of his cock and placing it at the entrance to her pussy. "When I got him like this, I would lower myself onto his cock, feeling him fill my pussy with his hard manhood." Lucy lowered herself onto his cock. Her eyes were closed now, but she continued to talk. "Would you like to see that? Would you like to see his cock enter me? Knowing another man was fucking your wife, while your wife was fucking another man, he would be doing my bidding. I would then ride him hard. You know how I like to come when I am on top, feeling his cock deep inside me, sliding in and out of my warm wet pussy, my juices running down his shaft. My moans becoming louder as I neared orgasm." Lucy stopped talking now and started to moan. Her body started to shake as she came, both from the pleasure of her husband's cock and the thought of Charles fucking her in front of Michael. Lucy came hard, her juices running down Michael's cock and wetting the sheet around Michael's arse cheeks. Lucy fell forward a bit and leaned down and kissed Michael. "Wow, that was intense. Do you want to see your wife being fucked by another man? Seeing his cock going deep into my pussy, hearing my moans of ecstasy?" "Oh yes," panted Michael. Lucy climbed off and turned around, getting on her hands and knees. She shook her arse at Michael. "Once I have come, I will get off and Charles will enter me from behind. He will grab my hips and ram his hard cock into me and fuck me hard. His grunts and groans will join my screams as he fucks me hard. Michael took the hint and got behind her. Slowly he started to fuck her hard. He grabbed her hips to help pull her onto his cock as he rammed it home. His thrust became quicker and longer. His breathing shallower, built up speed, and his orgasm neared. Suddenly he pushes hard into me and I feel his cum spurt into my willing pussy, filling me up. I can feel him shaking as his cum runs out of my pussy down his cock. The continued commentary was too much for Michael and his cock started to pulse, his cum squirting into Lucy's pussy. They remained locked together, silent, as Michael's cock slowly deflated. Only the sound of their breathing could be heard. They both flopped onto the bed and kissed. Drawing back, Lucy looked deep into Michael's eyes. Do you want it to happen? I want it to happen. I want to fuck Charles and I want to see you fuck Alice. Michael kissed Lucy. Let's hope it happens soon. For Michelle and Richard, the night before was the second time they had played with or in front of the hosts and they were starting to feel more comfortable. As with the others, it was Richard who brought up the subject the next morning, asking Michelle if she had enjoyed the night and she was prepared to go to the next party. Michelle nodded, whilst she knew she was coming over as all shy and innocent. Secretly she was enjoying the thrill of it all. A few weeks ago, if someone had told her that she would have sex in front of others and even suck another man's cock in front of her husband who was getting his cock sucked by the guy's wife, she would have thought they were mad. Now though, the repressed inner Michelle was starting to escape and she was after more. She was not sure how much further she wanted to go. The thought of another guy fucking her excited and thrilled her. But she was not sure she could cope with seeing Richard fucking another woman. She didn't think it would be fair for her to have fun whilst denying Richard his, but she would continue for the time being. The hosts, Catherine and Robert, after early morning sex discussed the previous night and what they were going to do for the next party. I think we should leave it a couple of weeks. Let them live with the thrill of what they have done so far and hopefully that will lead them to wanting more, said Catherine. But what should the aim of the next party be? Some of the fantasies we heard that night do not lend themselves to 4 couples all playing together. The gangbang is great, but what about the other girls? Or do you all line up and we just work our way down the line? Asked Robert. Well, that is a possibility, responded Catherine. Perhaps we could combine fantasies. Whilst one is getting fucked by all 4 guys, the 3 girls could play together, thereby ticking off the lesbian fantasy. Okay, that is a potential solution, but what about when we get to the 2 girls, 1 guy fantasy? Queried Robert. I don't remember any of the guys wanting to play with another guy. True, but have we asked them? Perhaps a couple of them secretly do, but didn't want to say it on that night. I admit that some of the fantasies are going to prove to be a bit of a challenge, but none of them are insurmountable. We will work something out. Still have decided what we are going to attempt on the next party, reminded Robert. How about we ask them? Let's speak to each couple over the week and see which fantasy they fancy attempting next, said Catherine. It is worth a try, and once we have chosen we can work on the logistics. Catherine knocked on the door to Charles and Alice's apartment a few days later. Charles answered and invited her in. I will come straight to the point, said Catherine. We are asking all of you what you want to do as your next fantasy. Okay, said Charles, looking at Alice. We have sort of discussed the other fantasies and are not sure we wish to get involved in some of them. Do you have any that you don't want to do? Asked Catherine. Well, the slave one was a bit off-putting for me, said Alice. "I don't like the idea of being so vulnerable." "That is understandable," said Catherine, nodding. "Me and Robert have discussed that fantasy and we think that we will attempt that towards the end, and as it is Lucy's fantasy she will be the only one to do it. If any of the others, yourself included, want to be there, then great, but it will be her night and she will be the only one treated like a slave. If others then want to have a similar experience, we will hold separate nights for them." "Makes sense and sounds like a good idea," said Charles. "So, which of the other fantasies do you fancy trying next then?" said Catherine, looking at both of them quizzically. "The options are orgy, well, more group fun, but with swapping if so desired, a male with 2 females. That is going to be interesting to organize, as obviously as couples the numbers don't quite work, but we have an idea as to how to get around that. Clearly the same problem arises if you switch it around and have 2 guys to 1 female. Going to be honest here and say that in reality, that one is far easier to solve. Won't explain right now, but if it gets chosen we will explain further. The final one is a bit of light BDSM, spanking and whipping. Like the slave one, we are going to skip DP until later and again see who else wishes to try it. Boundaries we have discovered are movable. I know that private lap dance was an option, but we figured that we would combine that one with another one as it is a fairly easy one to achieve." Catherine continued to look at them both, waiting for their answer. "Well," began Charles, "as I said earlier, we have actually discussed this briefly and we think we would like to try the group fun. We think that we might be able to manage that fantasy. We are worried that we might get jealous seeing the other with somebody else, but it is a fantasy we have discussed before and guess we won't know unless we try it." "True, and remember, as we said the other night, nobody should feel pressurized. If you don't like it or wish to stop, then you just have to say so," responded Catherine, hoping that she was putting them at their ease. "Well, think that I had better get going. We will start the planning and let you know soon when the next party is going to be. Have you any weekends that you can't make?" Catherine asked this question specifically looking at Alice, but Charles was the one to answer. "No, we are free for the next few weeks. We tend not to plan too far ahead." "Great, well, I will get going and hopefully we will all meet up soon," said Catherine. Alice followed Catherine to the door. "Charles was being a bit thick back there. I knew what you were getting at. I am fine for the next couple of weeks." Catherine smiled. "Well, Mother Nature does have to be considered in these things. It would be a shame to organize something and then for people to have to cancel." "Well, me and Robert will have a little think and see what we can come up with. We will drop you an email with all the details once they have been sorted."